The Etruscans are a people of the First Age who lived in Italy, in a geography far from the Adighes. We do not have any detailed information about them because their language and writing have not yet been fully deciphered. History writes them as a tribe that suddenly appeared on the coast of Italy in the 2nd millennium BC, established developed cities, developed an original writing and a different culture, and then mysteriously erased from the stage of history. Its biggest effects on history are that they originate from the formation of Roman civilization. In addition, the fact that they are the first people to use the surname system, their discovery of the arch and arched ceiling in architecture, their talents in the field of urbanism, and the fact that women have an unprecedented privileged place in ancient societies are some of them. Those who study the etymology of the Etruscan name are trying to associate it with the Greek word tersenos, basing it on the word terse, but this blood is not strong enough to constitute a final judgment. There are even those who are looking for the origin of the word in the name Turkish, but this is an assumption that is far from scientific. We can find the first historical data about them in Herodotus. According to this great thinker, who is considered the father of history, during the reign of Ates, the king of Lydia, a great famine occurs in the country, and half of the Lydian people cross the sea and take a homeland in the province of Umar. These people's presidents, who founded 12 cities where they went, are named after Turs. The Etruscans are the children of these immigrants. Again, according to what we learned from Herodotus, the Etruscans, the first civilized inhabitants of Italy, are divided into 12 branches, using a language that is different and difficult from the neighboring tribes. Its social structures exhibit a unique aristocracy. Their dexterity in iron and copper processing soon dominates them against the peoples around them. The most obvious features are that women have the same rights as men, their ability to acquire slaves, to be managers, the color in women's life, the way of women's clothing and makeup. The Etruscans were criticized and condemned by their contemporaries, the Greeks, for these characteristics. Dionysius of Halicarnassus, who lived for centuries after Herodotus, rejects the possibility that they were minor Asians on the grounds that there was no resemblance of customs and language between the Etruscan and Lydian people, and argues that they came to Italy from the north. According to Dionysius, the Etruscans called themselves Racina. When this word is examined in the light of the phonetic knowledge of the Adighes language, it is revealed that the suffix tina expresses femininity in Adighes. Adighes female names usually end with the suffix aina, like Barina, Curina, Jane, Satine, etc. It is also interesting that the word used in the meaning of the Etruscan woman and spouse is puina, tongue. It is a certain fact that the Etruscans are not the autochtone people of Italy. Various assumptions have been put forward to answer the question of where they came from and where they went. But the most accepted claim is expressed by a historian named Thompson in the work on the Opposites of the Etrusc language. According to Thompson, the Etruscans can only be Caucasian. Another Etruscan researcher, Trombetti, finds this assumption realistic. The great philologist Georges Dumsel, on the other hand, calls the three ethnicities that are hard in Roman civilization as Latins, Etruscans, and Sabines, while trying to make connections, albeit hesitant, between Etruscan myths and Caucasian epics. The main starting point of such thinking scientists is the interesting similarity between the Etruscan and Attic language. Etrusca is a largely unresolved European language. Although it is highly likely to be from the Indo-Germanic language family, it differs from this group in some aspects. There are aspects that are similar to the Caucasian language family that philologists call Asiatic. In the Etruscan alphabet, which forms the basis of today's Latin alphabet, there are 20 letters, 4 of which are vowels. In nouns and adjectives, masculinity is seen. Suffix is a heavy tongue, and there is not much prefix. The consonants dominate the language, and there are original sounds like TL. Etruscan AD 7 to 8, where we saw that it started to dissolve towards the 2nd century BC. Since it has completely disappeared in the century, it does not seem possible to affect the Italian, which immediately surrounds the peninsula. When we consider Adighes, we see that there are nearly 50 sounds, not letters, in all dialects of this language, but for vowels are used. The difficulty of the pronunciation and the excessive original sounds make it difficult to express this language in writing. The oldest written texts and epics we know show that the Adighes language largely retained its initial form. Masculinity is evidently seen in femininity, especially in the Abkhaz and Uzbek languages. Again, the sound toll is prominent as a specific sound. It is the general acceptance of linguists that Caucasian languages cannot be included in this group exactly, although the Indo-Germanic languages have a similarity. Some of the Etruscan words and their equivalents that we can find are as follows. Adighes Etrusc Turkish, Giali clan lad, Pipe set girl, 8, Ada T Baba.